What's up, OTN crew? Today I'm going to be covering a basic gym topic, how to hit your protein target and how to structure your meal plan for the week so you hit that protein target. So you're getting into your training, whether you're in your bulk or your cut for the first time, and you're wondering, how do I get my protein up? How much protein should I be eating? And then how do I actually make sure I can achieve this easily every day? Don't worry, I got you covered. So for most people, aiming for 2 times their body weight in grams is a really good place to start with your protein target. So if you are 80 kilos, a good protein target for you to start with would be 160 grams per day. So whatever your protein target is, let's say it's 160 grams, divide that into your meals for the day. So 5 meals, that's gonna spread your protein out evenly across the day. Essentially, you're aiming for about 30 grams of protein per meal. I think it comes out to about 32 grams per meal for 5 meals across the day. Now, if you're having a meal that's less and that's 20 grams of protein, then you just have to make up for it later. So your dinner or your lunch might be higher protein and your snacks might be a little bit less. How are you gonna track your protein? So you're going to use MyFitnessPal or another food tracking app. Now, this is the first thing you do when you're planning your first meal prep. You start with protein sources. So you think about your proteins like chicken, eggs, steak, fish, whatever protein sources you know of, and put them into each meal first. Okay, so as you can see on the screen here, you're entering in your sources of protein. So high protein yogurt, for example, 250 grams with your breakfast. Then you're thinking, okay, lunch, I'm having chicken thighs. You enter in that serving, so 250 grams of raw weight of your chicken for lunch. And then you're thinking about your dinner. So here we're entering steak, about 200 grams serving of steak for dinner. That's how you're putting in your proteins first. So after that, what other protein sources do I have? Okay, I've got a yogurt bowl in the afternoon. So once again, I'll put in a high serving of high protein yogurt, so 250 grams. And then my protein smoothie for the day as well. So I enter that in here. And then that's how you're going to hit very close to that target. So you can see here, when I go through the protein, out of the 160 grams, there's only 2 grams left. So that's fine. Now, after you enter your other foods, like your fruits, your veggies, to get your fiber in, your carb sources, your fats, then that protein, it's going to be adjusted. So now you're going to be a little bit over, and then you'll have to go back and adjust. So here I've changed the amounts. So then I've gone back through and I've adjusted those amounts to be pretty much perfect. As you can see, that 160 grams of protein, 50 grams of fats, 200 grams of carbs. Now the foods shown here are just a rough idea, but if you start with that protein first, that's how you're going to be guaranteed to hit that protein target. So just showing a rough example of a day of eating, overnight oats for breakfast with some mixed fruits and berries, chicken and rice with vegetables for lunch, a snack, fruit, a protein, high protein yogurt, and then a smoothie in the afternoon, and then dinner, veggies, sweet potato for carbs, and steak as the protein source. So obviously just a rough idea of a day of eating, but it just shows how if you enter that protein first into your tracker, plan your day around that, then you're guaranteed to hit that protein target every time. Now I'm gonna get into the kitchen and show you some examples of the foods that you could be adding as your staple protein sources to your shopping list every week. Okay, so your basics for meal prep, we got your chicken thighs, chicken breasts, around about 200 to 250 grams of raw weight. That's what you want to be cooking for one of your meals. Super simple, probably the easiest thing to have for lunch. Then we have high protein yogurt. So as a yogurt bowl or with your overnight oats, a large serving of that 250 grams, that's going to get you around 25 grams of protein. Then we have some form of protein supplement. I primarily focus on whole food, so I just have collagen, unflavored protein, and I'll add this to a smoothie. There's another 25, 30 grams of protein there. And you've got your red meat and your fish. So steak, I'll have steak for dinner often, and then salmon a couple times a week, or another type of fish. There's another 30 to 50 grams of protein right there. And your breakfast foods, whether you have like overnight oats with some yogurt, or you have eggs and egg whites, that's how you're gonna get another 30 grams of protein there. So obviously there's other sources of protein that you can use, but these are just the staples that I return to. And these are the things that I can just eat on repeat, and I can switch it up with different types of recipes and add a bit of variety. But at the end of the day, these are the things that are always gonna be on my shopping list week to week to hit that protein target consistently. So clearly this isn't a video for vegans, vegetarians, or pescatarians, but as a nutrition coach, I do work with these clients. So if you have questions about how to hit your protein target and that is your diet preference, then feel free to reach out. If you have any general inquiries about your nutrition and how to hit your protein target, feel free to comment below or message me on Instagram at MarkOTNCoaching. Thanks guys, I'll see you in the next video.